Update 9 on Typhoon Rammasun, which has intensified and now has winds of 100 miles per hour and a pressure of 959 millibars. Its position as of 2 AM UTC, July 17th, is 16.4 degrees north, 115.8 degrees east. That positions the storm over the South China Sea and is expected to move towards the northwest, where it will make a landfall in China, possibly on the island of Hainan, and could be as a fairly significant storm as well by the time it gets there. Of course, then the storm's likely to move towards Vietnam, where it may make another landfall as a typhoon and then dissipate far inland. Over the Asian continent, possibly over Laos. The storm's threat to the Philippines has now diminished. There are no warnings in effect over there, and the storm is now chiefly a threat to southern China and to Vietnam, though Hong Kong and Macau have Signal 1 standby warnings in effect right now, and an orange typhoon warning is in effect for southern China, including the island of Hainan, which is the likely landfall location at the moment, either there or just further north towards Zhejiang. But that's the current situation with the storm. Obviously, we may be seeing typhoon conditions in those orange areas. Certainly we'll be seeing heavy rainfall in the next few days, and possibly winds of over 100 miles per hour, at least gusting. So here's the current situation on the satellite imagery. You can see the past few hours the storm's been moving away from the Philippines and starting to get close to China. One of the outer bands of the storm is very close to moving over Hainan now. Sea surface temperatures remaining very warm, 30 degrees plus. Perhaps even an area of 32 degrees, very close to the border with China and Vietnam over the Gulf of Tonkin. If the storm goes over there, it could have a brief spell of quick intensification if it does remain over water. Wind shear is decreasing ahead of the storm, but as it stands, it is entering a fairly high area of wind shear, at least for around the next day or so. So unless that fizzles down a little bit, it could be a problem for the storm. Towards the northwest of the storm, you can see how it's not as well defined, not as intense in terms of thunderstorm activity. The centre of the storm, though, is not having too many problems. A very strong core there. In terms of water vapour, that's not too much of an issue. The CMC forecast model takes the storm a little bit more of a northerly jog by the looks of things, and forms two typhoons behind that as well. One significant one affecting Taiwan and China by the looks of things on the eastern coast, according to the CMC model. The GFS takes Rammasun towards the northwest, no deviation in track. Looks like a landfall on the mainland China, and then dissipating over Vietnam. And also behind that, another storm forming, but doesn't intensify it as aggressively as the CMC, and recurves the storm as well. So let's take a look at the latest satellite imagery. You can see that's how the storm's been advancing towards the west-northwest. Perhaps an eye starting to form again after it fizzled out as it left the Philippines. You can certainly see that spiral band towards its northwest, heading towards the island of Hainan and just about coming ashore now. So we'll be seeing the first of the heavy rainfall over there imminently. But the main course of the storm is still on its way and is likely to reach Hainan in around 24 hours time or so, depending on how fast it goes. The southern side of the storm is still the most intense. You can see those white areas showing the most intense part of the storm, and indeed we're probably seeing winds there of around 100 miles per hour, gusting to around 115, 120 perhaps. As of July the 17th at 2 AM UTC, there are no less than 7 tropical disturbances active: 90C in the Central Pacific, Invest 97S in the Southern Indian Ocean, Rammasun, and 4 invests in the Western Pacific, 93 through 96. 37 tropical storms have formed so far in 2014. Rammasun was the 37th. 15 of those have become cyclones with winds of 74 miles per hour and higher. That's Category 1 hurricane on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane wind scale. And 9 of those have become Category 3 storms with winds of 115 miles per hour and higher. You can follow Force 13 on any of its 6 platforms. The website's the main place to be, force13.com. We'll keep you up to date with all the goings-on storm-wise. The YouTube and Dailymotion pages, just search Force 13 on those for the latest videos. And of course the social pages, Facebook and Twitter. Just search Force 13 on those. It's at Force 13 on Twitter. If you'd like to get in touch, if you'd like to stay up to date, or share any of the media that comes out of those pages too. And of course you can speak to me personally on Skype, add Fool13 on there, for a tropical weather chat and discussion on, and I'll take any questions as well about the current storm or any storm related activity. The next update on this storm will follow at 2 PM UTC on July 17th, that's late evening local time.